Chapter 13. The sacrifice is commenced. In the verdant heart of the kingdom, as spring returned and the earth bloomed with renewed life, King Dasaratha stood on the balcony of his palace, gazing at the vibrant blossoms and the river flowing with a gentle murmur. Yet a shadow loomed over his thoughts, his desire for an heir, a child who would carry forth the legacy of his illustrious lineage. His mind, filled with a mixture of hope and determination, settled on the ancient rites that could fulfill his wishes. The time had come to complete the grand sacrifice, the Ashwamedha Yajna, with the blessings of the sages and the divine grace of the gods. With a heart full of reverence, he summoned the great sage, Sage Vasishtha, the royal priest and guide who had served as the spiritual anchor for his family through generations. Draped in robes of saffron, with a demeanour as serene as the Ganga in winter, Sage Vasishtha entered the king's court, his presence commanding respect from all gathered. King Dasaratha, bending low in humble salutations, spoke with a voice filled with both reverence and urgency. "O great sage, O revered one, in your hands rests the fate of my lineage. I entreat you to oversee the completion of this sacred ceremony, following the ancient tradition and its sacred rites. Let no hindrance or misfortune taint this holy endeavour. You are my guide, my spiritual mentor, and only under your stewardship can this sacrifice achieve its purpose. I place this great responsibility upon you, for I know your heart is full of compassion, and you hold me in your thoughts." Vasishtha, his gaze filled with wisdom that seemed to pierce through time, nodded solemnly. "O king, let it be as you desire. I shall oversee this sacred task with all my powers and knowledge, ensuring that every detail is perfected according to the divine traditions." Thus, with his resolve firm, Vasishtha summoned learned Brahmins well versed in the intricacies of Vedic rituals, artisans skilled in building, and artists who would add beauty and grace to the ceremony. As the court filled with the murmur of their discussions, Vasishtha, the orchestrator of this divine endeavour, addressed them. "At the command of our king, prepare for the inauguration of the great sacrifice. Bring forth thousands of bricks with utmost haste, and construct dwellings of every kind, palatial homes for royalty, simpler but comfortable accommodations for the guests, and well-appointed quarters for the Brahmins who will chant the sacred mantras. Prepare kitchens and storehouses filled with grains, fruits, ghee, and all necessities. Let no guest, be they from near or distant lands, feel lacking in comfort or respect." The sage's instructions echoed with authority, and the assembled artisans and priests bowed in agreement, their voices rising in unison. "As you command, O sage, so shall it be. Nothing will be left undone." Vasishtha, his mind turning to the broader task of gathering participants, called forth the chief minister, Sumantra, whose wisdom and experience had guided many a diplomatic mission. With a gesture of his hand, he instructed, "Sumantra, send out messengers far and wide to every corner of Bharatavarsha. Invite the noble kings and the wise sages of the land. Start with the venerable Janaka of Mithila, a king renowned for his knowledge of the Vedas and his unwavering devotion to truth. Extend our invitation to the king of Kashi, a ruler who upholds Dharma with the strength of a god. Next, seek the aged king of Kaikeya, our king's father-in-law, a ruler who embodies both wisdom and valour. Bid his son accompany him to honour our gathering. Invite also King Lomapada of Anga, bound by deep friendship to King Dasaratha, and request the presence of the esteemed king of Magadha. Beyond these, dispatch emissaries to the kings of the eastern and southern lands, to the rulers of Sindhu, Sauriva, and Saurashtra. Let them all come, accompanied by their kinsmen, retinues, and the wealth of their kingdoms." With these words, Sumantra set forth, dispatching swift couriers and personally travelling to meet the great kings. Each invitation bore the promise of hospitality and respect, sealed with the emblem of Kosala and the blessings of Sage Vasishtha. As days turned into weeks, the sacrificial grounds transformed into a bustling city of its own, with artisans shaping bricks into altars, labourers constructing pavilions, and musicians practising the hymns that would serenade the gods. The air thrummed with the sounds of preparation, the fragrant smoke of incense mingling with the morning mist, carrying the promises of prosperity to the heavens. Sri Vasishtha, ever watchful, reminded those in service, "Remember, even in jest, no offering should be made with disrespect. The joy of giving, when tainted by scorn, destroys the merit of the giver. Let every gift be offered with a pure heart, and every guest received with a sincere smile." In time the invited kings began to arrive, their chariots glittering like rivers of gold, their banners fluttering against the azure sky. They brought with them gifts, jewels, silks and rare treasures to honour the occasion and to celebrate the magnanimity of King Dasaratha. The pavements rang with the sound of horse hooves and the jingling of royal anklets as noble guests alighted from their carriages, their faces glowing with the warmth of their welcome. When all had assembled, Vasishtha approached the king once more, bowing slightly as he spoke. "O king, as per your desire, the great kings have gathered, and they have been welcomed with every courtesy. The preparations for the grand sacrifice are complete, the altars are ready, the fires kindled, and the offerings arranged. Now, with your queens, come to the sacrificial pavilion, inspect what has been prepared for you, and see how your wishes have been fulfilled by the devoted service of your people." With Vasishtha's words resounding in his heart, King Dasaratha, dressed in ceremonial robes and accompanied by his queens Kausalya, Kaikeyi and Sumantra, entered the sacred grounds. The air was heavy with the chanting of Vedic hymns, and the fragrance of sacred herbs filled the space. Rishyasringa, a sage of unmatched purity and devotion, was chosen as the chief priest, his presence like a bridge between the realms of the mortal and the divine. At an auspicious hour, under a constellation of favourable stars, the sacrifice began. The flames of the sacred fire rose skyward, dancing to the rhythm of the mantras, as if yearning to touch the heavens. The king, with his queens, performed the preliminary rituals with devotion, pouring offerings into the fire that blazed brighter than the sun, its light illuminating their hopeful faces. The rituals proceeded with precision, each offering made with reverence, each chant resonating like a call to the celestial realms. Vasishtha and Rishyasringa guided the king through every intricate step, ensuring that the ancient ordinances were followed and the gods propitiated. The Ashwamedha Yajna, begun with such hope and dedication, was now a testament to King Dasaratha's unwavering resolve and the devotion of those who served him. In that sacred moment, as the smoke of the yajna mingled with the skies, the air seemed to hum with divine energy, as if the very universe had paused to bless the king's desire for an heir. The great sacrifice, in all its grandeur, promised a future that would shape the destiny of an entire kingdom.